Welcome, I'm broadcasting from my little studio today. This video is a little guide, a little taster into how you do emotional integration work with the body. There's three parts. The first bit is just to get out of your head a little bit. Oftentimes we can spend a lot of time here, learning, educating, journaling, and it stays very much energized up here. And what I aim to do really is to help you bring yourself into your body a little bit more. So we want to integrate these two aspects, and you'll see how that works a bit later on in the little demo video. So that's part one, is just to start freeing up the body a little bit and getting out of the mind. Then we drop into a little bit of awareness just to ground us in the present, feeling safe, feeling connected to the earth. That's part two. Part three is the exploration. So this is different from yoga because there's no exact poses. There's no choreography. Okay, so you don't have to engage your memory. It's simply that I give you a few cues so you can conjure up emotions as they present in your body. And then to play around a little bit. Now, this is not the full thing because normally a whole class, I take it down some different avenues so that you can integrate these feelings that you don't normally like. Don't worry, I've been safe. I've simply asked you in this demo video to think of a time where you felt frustrated. So that's a little bit charged, but hopefully not too traumatic, as a little intro into this kind of work. So I'm going to get going with that now. You just need to be in your own room or a space where you can stand with a bit of peace and quiet. You could do this in front of someone. They might think you're a bit mad. It's okay. I'm used to people thinking I'm a bit mad, so I have no problem with it. But just bear that in mind. You can watch it through and then do it guided, or you can follow along. Thanks. Here we go, starting with step one. Step one, to get out of your head, so that we engage our bodies in a free-form, spontaneous way. I'm going to give you a little bit of direction. Just start to roll these shoulders one at a time. Knees are loose, and just let the head go a little bit. Yes, let it go, let it roll. Okay, we're just simply moving energy around. Okay, change direction, so now coming forward to see how I kind of use the elbows now as well. Right, okay. Shake the arms. Again, we are moving energy just a little bit, not massively, but just shaking up the nervous system literally so that we can free the brain chemistry a little bit as well. So I'm pushing through my toes, yes, just like this, through the toe joints. Okay, just mobilizing the joints a little bit. Okay, really moving the head now. Side to side. You can do your own little routine. This is just an example. Okay, really feel how the movement of the head, those little grains that are inside your ear that are part of the vestibular system for your balance. You are also literally moving and shaking your sense of where you are in time and space around. Okay, so that's step one, just to shake it off a little bit, and now we become grounded. Here is part two. So now we want to go into awareness and stillness and explore emotion. So part two, spread out your toes. Try to line your feet up in a parallel way. If you've got the edge of a mat or a yoga mat or a pattern on the carpet, you line the inside of the foot in a straight line. Okay, and a little gap between your feet. Okay, right, bend the knees the tiniest bit so that they are loose. And we don't want tension in the thighs, loose. Okay, and then either close your eyes or cast them down. You can either just listen to my voice at this point or watch it through and then join in. But now inviting your awareness internally. You're looking for sensation, and we are engaging the observer mind, not the evaluating and judgment call mind. So we begin by really noticing the contact of the soles of your feet against the floor. Notice the quality of the surface you are standing on. It could be a carpet, a wooden floor, a tiled floor. And begin to notice how does the weight distribute itself through your feet? Do you feel heavy in the heel? Do you feel heavy in the ball of the foot? Okay, you don't need to change or adjust anything at this point. It's just to observe and to become aware. You cannot change what you're not aware of. Right, and now I'm going to ask you to become aware of the ankle joint. You may not fully understand what that feels like or where that is, but just try. Just imagine the very end of the leg as it connects to the feet. There's a joint there where the whole of your body, the weight of you is coming down into that fine point and then out through the feet. Take a moment just to sense that. Next, we come up to the pelvis. The pelvis is in the center of the body. It's heavy. Aside from its bony structure, which creates weight, we have organs in there. So imagine that you can just float your hip bones or pelvis directly above the ankle joint. Okay, sometimes it can sway forward, and we end up almost leaning back and the lower back compresses. So imagine you can just bring that pelvis right above the ankle joints and just sense the relationship of those two. Next one is the head or the earlobes. Okay, so take a moment to think of the earlobes, sense where they are, and then imagine you can balance those directly above the hip joints. If you purposefully poke the chin forward and make the head go, and observe how the spine follows the head. The head is very heavy, it's about 5 kgs. So all of those muscles along the back are now holding the weight of that head up. So as we practice really bringing the ears in line with the pelvis, all those back muscles can relax. Good, and take a moment to drop the shoulders and breathe. Good. Okay, just enjoy that for a second. We've just grounded ourselves now. We're feeling peaceful, we're feeling aligned. And now, here comes part 3. This is really where the exploration of emotion comes. You have freed up some energy in step 1. In step 2, you have grounded yourself, become aware of your internal environment. And now we're going to go a step deeper in part 3, which is to conjure up unpleasant emotions in the body. You could do this lying down. I'm going to show it standing today. Again, you can close your eyes or just let the head drop and look downwards. Okay, but I'm going to ask you now to think up of a time where you felt frustrated. Okay, this is an example of how this system works. Okay, years as a professional ballet dancer and in training with the body, this work comes up in the creative process. So, we start by thinking about frustration. When was the last time you felt frustrated? You can think of the situation or the person you were with, where you were, what was being said, maybe just briefly, enough to feel frustrated. You can do this with other emotions. This is just an example today. When you feel frustration, are you aware of how that arises now in the body? Okay, could be a feeling in the chest, could be a clenching of the jaw, wherever it is for you. Just notice now where those sensations arise. Does it feel cold, tight, stiff, sore, heavy, sour? You can figure out the qualities that that emotion and feeling has in your body. Okay, and if you can locate a specific area, then go ahead and place a hand there. Maybe it's your stomach, maybe it's your chest. If it's around the neck and the jaw, you can just hold like this. And then once you've got that feeling and you know where it is in your body, then just breathe. Take some deep breaths. Let yourself relax. Okay, now you're going to use your mind at this point. Imagine that that frustration can sort of slip out of your body, almost like smoke. And it's going to come just to the side of you, left or right, doesn't matter. Maybe it's above you. Even imagine that there's almost a spirit of the frustration that's coming out of the body and settling somewhere in your realm of vision. Okay, and bear with me, I know it sounds strange. Okay, and just quickly notice, how do you feel now that you've externalized the feelings that you've had? You feeling a little bit at ease somewhere? Okay, so frustration, it's still there. You haven't banished it, but you're speaking and seeing it there. And maybe it morphs into something. Maybe it's a hammer. Maybe it's an old shoe. Maybe it looks like Casper the Ghost. Maybe it stays as smoke. I don't know. It will come up as some imagery in your mind, and imagine that it's somewhere in your field of vision. Even if your eyes are closed, imagine seeing it. Okay, almost there. Okay, this is an intro into how you do this kind of work. So you've got your frustration there. You can give it a name if you like, or you can keep it as frustration. I quite like saying, hello, frustration. Nice to see you. You know, couldn't see you while you were inside of me. And now here you are. My gosh, and you look rather beautiful. You know, you're almost going to flatter this emotion that you don't particularly normally like. But you're going to make it there. It's part of your sphere, but it's not of you. You are not bounded to frustration. And now what you would imagine doing is having a conversation with frustration and saying, oh, hello. Yeah, nice to see you. This is an example, of course. You know, what have you got to tell me? What's your problem? You know, you clearly care about something. Why have you come here today? Oh, I see, you're angry that you haven't been listened to, that you didn't get your way. Okay, well, good to know. You know what, you can stay with me for a little while. And then you can go about your day. Imagine that frustration is not your enemy, but is your friend and wants you to learn something. And you have to do the work of figuring what that is. So that's a little example. We can take frustration and we can even dance with it. Okay, you can even imagine that you're dancing with it. You can even imagine that it's inside your body and you, almost like a surfer, or you are the ocean and the surfer is the frustration or whichever emotion is coming up and moving around you. Okay, and all of these kind of movements where you are with that emotion, but it's not overpowering you. And if you try to use your body and your movements when you're conjuring up that emotion, because after all, it's a feeling literally a sensory process, and it's in your body. And when you make it emotion, literally motion, feelings in motion, okay, then it doesn't have this grip on you and you can begin to learn and understand. I said I chose frustration because it's safe, generally speaking. The anger, shame, deep hurt, deep sadness, you know, all of these things, we can bring them out and we can use the body so that the mind is not overwhelmed with the whole job all the time. You've got a whole body and it's here to serve you and it's here to guide you. So dance with yourself and free yourself of these emotions.